Hello. In part 5, I'm going to cover the basic Git commands that you'll need to upload changes that you make to a project and download changes that were made by others. Now, I've already gone over the first command in part 4, which is git clone. The next one, Git Status, is what you'll use to detect changes between your local folder and the online repository. Git pull is what you'll use to download changes that were made by others. Git Add, Commit, and Push is what you're going to use to upload the changes that you make to the project. So let's see how these different commands work in practice. So just as a quick reminder, we started out with this OOH project that was created by New Guy and then uploaded onto his Pavlovia and GitLab account. He then shared this project with Jordan, me, who then cloned this repository onto his local computer. So we can imagine that these two folders are both owned by different people and are located on different computers. And for all intents and purposes, they are, as far as Git is concerned. These are two separate locations. So I'm going to go ahead now and make a change within this computer, so on this location. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some new stimuli to this experiment. So I'm going to add a new color and a non-word. And I'm going to make sure that I do this in, because I'm not doing it directly in CyclePy, I'm not re-exporting the HTML. I'm going to have to make this change in two locations. So I'm going to save this here. And I'm also going to go into the HTML folder, into the resources, and make the change here as well. Okay. For some reason, it didn't let me copy that. All right. There we go. So now I've made the changes in both places and saved them. Okay. So now I want to upload these changes onto the online repository. So I'm going to open Command Prompt and navigate to that folder that was called OOH Jordan. Okay, so now I'm inside this folder. Another way you can do this, if you aren't that familiar with Command Prompt, is if you open this and select, if you just click up here, it will select the path to this directory, and you can just copy that. And then all you do is type cd and then the location. It's going to bring you to the same place. All right, so now that I'm inside this folder, I'm going to try and use my different Git commands. So the first thing I want to do is check to see if there's any differences between my local folder and the repository online. So I'll type Git Status. All right, so it's telling me that in fact there are some differences between the two, and that is in fact the two conditions files that I've just made modifications to. And you can see it's listed here as modified and modified. No changes added to commit. So right now it says that no changes have been added. So I need to first use this Git Add, and I'm going to use Git Add plus this period or full stop, and that means that I'm going to add all of the changes that it's currently detecting. So I can do that. And let's have a look one more time at this Git Status. Now, these are highlighted in green, and these are changes that have been added but not committed yet. So now what I need to do is use this Git Commit Command. If I add this little -m, that means I can label the commit. So what this is doing is taking all those changes that I made and kind of packaging them together so I can label them and then upload them. So I'm going to label this added stim and press enter. And it will tell me now that within this commit called added stim, two files have been changed. So that's the two stimulus files. If I look at Git Status again, it will say there are no changes to commit. Basically, all the changes that have been made have been added in to this commit that I'm then going to send online. Now, the way that I then upload this commit that I've created, this kind of package of changes, is I'm going to use Git Push. This is going to take everything from my local folder and push it onto the repository online. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and it's just telling me that these have been successfully uploaded. So if I now go to the repository, you'll notice that I'm logged in to Jordan Gallant's account, or my account. So if I reload this and have a look at the stimulus file, it's not. If you use a CSV, you can actually view it here, but it's not going to let me view this file online, unfortunately. But if I open it here, it should be the one that contains those new stimuli, which is fantastic. So if I were to now run this experiment, it would have 6 stimuli instead of 4. All right, so let's imagine that now I've called it a day. I'm no longer doing any more work on this project. I've done my part by adding the 2 new stimuli. So I'm gonna log out, and I'll imagine that now new guy is coming in to do some work on the project, and he also has the same task of adding additional stimuli to the experiment, because let's face it, 6 is just not quite enough. But so before he does any more work, he wants to make sure that he's kind of up to date with the project so far. So he's going to open command prompt, navigate to that folder on his computer, and he'll check the status. So it's saying that there's nothing that he has now changed to add to the project online. But the thing that he should do first is to pull. So he's going to go, this will tell Git to go check the repository, check for anything that's new, and download that onto his computer. And you can see that once he clicks this git pull command, that now it's taken the new updated stimulus files and downloaded them onto his repository. So if he then opens this stimulus file in his folder, it will now contain those new changes that were made by Jordan previously. Now, if he wants to get some more information about what changes were actually made, he could log on to his GitLab account. So I'll just sign out and sign in using the other account. And let's just navigate to that project. And he can click on activity, and he should be able to see the different changes that were made by me. And so you can see that those 2 changes were made to the stimulus files. So now let's go ahead, and now that we've kind of downloaded that stimulus file and confirmed that those were the major changes that were made before, now new guy can go ahead and add some more stimuli to the experiment. So let's add these in both places. So let's add it here, save that. Let's also add it in the resources file. All right, so make those changes, and now he's going to do the same thing. Let's do Git Status. Now that we've changed those 2 files, we can see again that these files have been modified, and we're going to do the same thing. We'll use Git Add to add those changes to our new kind of package or commit, and label it added more stim, and push those online. And now the repository should contain all of those new stimulus files. So if I just double check by downloading it here, I should be able to see that all 8 stimuli are now online. So so this is just a quick and easy way to kind of both be for 2 users to be uploading new changes while making sure that they are downloading the most recent version of the project to work on. All right, so that's all I wanted to cover in this series of videos. Thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or requests for videos, please shoot me an email, and I'd be glad to help out in any way that I can. Other than that, I look forward to hearing from you, and thanks again.